Greetings, Tezos Nation. Welcome to another edition of TezTalks Live. I'm Stu from the Tezos Commons. Joining me today is Constantin Garreau, Innovation Director at PMU and CEO and co-founder of Stables. Stables, for those who might not know, is a sports entertainment platform combining the intensity of horse racing and the endless possibilities of Web3 being built and rolled out right here in the Tezos ecosystem. The first mint of Stables NFTs will be dropping on March 27th, and we're all very excited to watch the rollout of this interesting project take shape in the weeks ahead. On today's stream, we'll be giving away 3 highly coveted whitelist spots for the upcoming March 27th drop, and 1 first mint Stables NFT courtesy of our friends at Stables to 4 lucky viewers. If you'd like one of those lucky viewers to be you, which you definitely should, keep an ear out for a keyword later on during the stream. And of course, if you have any questions for Constantin that you'd like me to ask, please add them in the chat at any time. We'll get to as many as we can before we wrap up. Hi, Constantin. How are things in Versailles?
Very good. It's 7 p.m. here in Versailles.
Lovely. To get us started, can you tell us a bit about your professional background and how you got started on your journey into the exciting world of blockchain tech?
Yeah, sure. So I've been working in the tech space for almost the last 10, even 15 years. I joined PMU 3 years ago as digital and e-commerce director, mainly working on the complete revamp of our websites and apps. And 1 year ago, we organized a sort of hackathon, internal hackathon around innovation. There are several projects we worked on, new games, new way to bet, and so on. And I tried to work with a small team of interns, of the youngest ones. And the idea was to say, should we reinvent the way to play around horse races? And the idea came pretty simply from the youngest ones of the team. And what we decided was to build a project around Web3 and horse races. And that was the beginning of Stables.
Very cool. As I understand it, PMU is one of France's biggest sports betting players.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the sports betting industry in France and PMU's place in that space?
So PMU is a leading gambling operator in France, mainly focused on horse races. So it means that we operate almost 10 billion euros in bets on horse races, mainly in France. And then we have some partnership all around the world. So it means that we have partnership with other operators. So it generates for us revenue when people from all around the world bet on horse races in France. And as well, we generate revenue when our French bettors play on horse races across the globe. We have as well some other activities in sport betting, and poker. And so I would say that the betting industry is pretty dynamic in France, but we have some new restriction and new regulations coming around betting. So the idea when we started this project was to say, okay, mainly maybe we should use Web3 as a way, as a company, to move from gambling to gaming. And thanks to this move, to gain a space of freedom as a company and to be able to reach new audiences. That was the bet we did 1 year ago on this space.
Okay. So you sort of already answered the next question, but as PMU's innovations director, what was it specifically that made you take an interest in blockchain and Web3 as an innovation priority?
So at the very beginning, the idea was to say, we observed what happened in project like Sora, for example, so Sorare, around football, and as well other projects like Axie Infinity, Titan Arena, and that kind of, and we said, okay, so maybe we have something pretty relevant in around the ownership of a digital asset. And my idea was to say, okay, rather than betting on horses during all day long without any, I would say, personal consideration for the horses, the obsession of someone who is betting is to maximize the profit on the bets. And my idea was to say, okay, maybe we should use the blockchain technologies to find a way to create a game where you will own a horse, which will be linked to a real horse. And when your horse compete in real races, you will be able to earn something. That was the very beginning of the story. And thanks to this idea, I thought that it could be a good way to reach brand new audiences like gamers, like crypto natives, degens, and so on, which were not reachable with our traditional narrative. So it was for us a good test to say, okay, maybe we have a new way to recruit new players. So it will be players and gamers, no bettors at all. The idea is not to use blockchain to recruit people for betting, but really for gaming. And we are a pretty old company. We are almost 100 years old. And when you look at what happened in the 60s, for example, it was exactly the same. It was recorded the same way. It was lived the same way on the horse track, and people betted exactly the same way. And my conviction was to say maybe we have something thanks to blockchain technologies that can help us to reinvent completely this game and to build something pretty relevant and pretty innovative for the 100 years to come.
Beautiful. So that process, of course, led you to become founder and CEO of Stables, which is the reason we're both here. Can you talk a bit about Stables in general and your vision for the project?
Yeah, sure. Sure. So as I told you, the pitch is pretty simple. You will be able to own horse races. So it will be a digital sorry, not horse races, but digital horse, which will be linked to a real horse in the real life. So this is the first part of the game, which will be a fantasy where you will have a strict replica of what happened in the real life. And then we are pretty sure as well that the frequency of the races are not that high. So it means that you may have to wait maybe 3 or 4 weeks between two races. And what we think is that it won't be enough if we want to engage with the community and to build an intense experience. So our idea and the work we are currently doing as a team is to build a complete digital universe where you will have real races, where you will have some hybrid races. So it means that you will link your horse to another horse which will compete in 2 days, for example, and you will be able to buy some equipments and to increase the value of your horse and to make some choice and to train your horse and that kind of stuff. And you will have as well some virtual races. So it means that if you want, you will be able to run races every day. So that's the first stage of our game. And the next part is we want to build as well a complete economy around the game. So you will have the whole space with you will have the stable where you will be able to take care of your horse. You will have a place where your horses will be able to breed and to generate new NFTs. We want as well to have a strong community experience. So you will have a jockey club where you will be able to meet other players. And if you want to build a team and to own several horses as a team, you will be able to do so. Our idea is really to recreate the whole atmosphere of this world and to be able to. My point is that we really need to leverage the value of reality. So we have a very strong partnership because as a company, we are owned by horse owners in France. So it means that it's sort of economic status where all our profits will go to horse owners. So it means that it will breed and fund the whole industry. And we really want to leverage the link with reality. We do not want to build virtual games where some stuff will happen. It could be cool, but the idea is really to say we want to build something linked to reality. We want as well to be international from day one, so that's why our website is in English.
Mm.
We really used an international perspective in the project. We are building strong partnerships with other operators all around the world because we want to be able to bring some horses coming from all around the world in our game, and we want as well to offer some utilities in the real space. So it means that when your horse will compete in a horse track, I don't know, in Ascot in England, if you're an English player, you would be able to go to the horse track and to attend the race exactly like if you were the owner of the real horse. We think that that kind of experience could be really cool and could, I would say, introduce this ecosystem to people who do not know our world.
It's a very interesting concept, and we have a question from the audience that
Yeah.
asks you to expand on this a little bit more. Um, Rishti is asking how are real horses being used, and how is it connected to the NFT you own? Can you explain that relationship a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. So when you will buy a NFT, when you will own your digital horse, you will have a unique link to a unique real horse. So it means that as of today, you have one real horse, one NFT. You don't have any rarity levels and so on. We really want to have that kind of unicity in the supply, and you will have some races which are real races where when your real horse compete in a race and win some points in the race, your digital horse will earn exactly the same. So it means that
Wow.
we make a correspondence between the reality and the game. And your digital horse will not be limited to what happened in reality. So you will have the real part of the game, and you will have as well some hybrid races where we want to mix reality and virtual space. We think that by doing so, we are creating a new layer of value for players in our digital space.
So the real world performance of the
Yeah,
real world horse
yeah,
reflects on the virtual world performance of your virtual horse, for lack of a better
exactly,
term. Okay, that's
exactly.
that's
You
really
can see
interesting.
you can see the NFT as a digital twin of the horse. I don't use this word because I don't want to make some legal stuff, but it can be seen as a digital twin of the horse, and the real horse is a kind of tracker of what happened in reality.
Wow.
Uh, and but we really want to increase the experience thanks to the virtual space because we have that issue of horses who do not run enough in races. It would be super easy if you had races every 3 days. I mean, we will build something exactly like Sorare, a fantasy game where you own four horses and you can play every day in your game. It is not feasible in our space because the horses need to take some rest after
Of course.
races, and they need to wait maybe between 3, 4, 5 weeks. And we want to make sure that you have fun in the game even when the real horse doesn't compete.
Cool. So it's like horse racing is a sort of interesting enclosed economy with a bunch of
Yeah,
stakeholders within it.
yeah,
Are you saying that in this stables universe there would be people that function as trainers and stable owners and all
yeah.
of the different entities in the real?
Yeah, definitely. We really want to replicate what happened in
Wow.
this world, and we want to make it accessible for players who have absolutely no knowledge about this universe. So we want to make it simple. We want to make it super accessible for newcomers, and we want to make it fun as well. So it means that we do not want to build something which would be a game of experts of horse races. So that's why, for example, at the very beginning, we will have a supply of 6,000 horses, and this supply will be randomly allocated to players. So it means that even if you know absolutely nothing, you will have exactly the same chance to get a super horse. And we really want to make sure that it will be accessible for people who have no knowledge about this world. We want to make it accessible, so it means that we are thinking in terms of we want to create index to make it super easy to understand, is my horse super strong or not, what will happen in the life of my horse. And of course we want to replicate the, I would say, the depths of this world. So it means that when you are a real horse owner, it's an economy which is based mainly on what happened in races, and then you have the breeding phase where you will earn a lot as well if your horse is really good. And
Mm.
we are pretty sure that we need to introduce that kind of depth as well to make the game fun.
Wow. It's sounds incredibly ambitious and really interesting, which I think is why we're getting so many questions from the audience right now. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull out a couple more of those. Alex Rafi would like to know.
Axel Murphy.
Oh, sorry, it's really small text on my screen.
Yeah,
So Axel would like to know: horse owners are traditional people like in Deauville, and
yeah.
crypto is still in the adoption phase. How would you make those two worlds meet?
It's my work. It's my job, Axel. I mean, I during the last 12 months, I would say that I spent half of my time to explain what is the blockchain technology, what is a wallet, what is an NFT, what is the customer journey in this Web3 world. Why do we do that kind of project? It is not to address these traditional horse owners, but really to address new players and new gamers in a new space. And I just told them, don't worry, I will respect the image of the horse world. I don't want to make it something which is unrealistic and so on. I really want to respect this world, but I want to bring this world in the future
Yeah.
with new audiences. And
Mm.
my idea was to say, okay, so let me build something, and let's make it big, and we will share the outcome. So I did it this way. It's I would say it's a kind of it's a lot of work of education,
I bet it
uh,
is.
taking time to make them install a wallet, buy cryptos, and show them that it's not money coming from traffic and so on, but really it's just a new way to buy some stuff and to play in some games, and it's a new way to consume digital. And it I think they are now pretty bullish on what we are currently doing.
I bet they are. I bet they are. It's
Yeah,
obviously it's a struggle that a lot of sports are
yeah,
dealing with right now, where younger audiences are not necessarily consuming this
yeah,
stuff in the same way that their parents did,
yeah.
and bridging that gap is something that every sport is kind of having to work on right now. Another question. This one from Susan Anoop would like to know about the rewards that that stables horse owners will get when their real world horse wins. What form do those rewards take, and how are they distributed?
Yeah, so first I saw several questions. So Yes, when you are connected to a real horse and the real horse wins, you will be able to earn some stable points. So the stable points is basically the economic token or economic coin of our game, and it will allow you to buy some equipment to your horse, to be able to register your horse in other races, to breed your horse, to get new NFTs and so on. So basically, it's you will win and you will earn the same stuff of the real horse, but in the virtual space. And we really want to make sure and to build a strong tokenomics, making it I would say a long-term economy. We really want to have some trades in this world, and we want as well to make it fun and that's what happened currently on our Discord. We have strong gamification with raffles every week, and we want to make you win some NFTs, some VIP tickets to events, some merchandising, and so on. So it will have different forms.
So as I mentioned earlier, the first drop of Stables NFTs is coming up on March 27th.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if you could. It's just a few weeks away, so if you could tell us a bit about what will be available during the drop. For instance, somebody's asking if is it one whitelist spot equals one mint of one NFT, or is it more complex than that? And somebody else is asking if the total number of NFTs that we minted in this drop, and if there's more coming in the future.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, when you are whitelisted, you are sure that you will be able to mint at least one NFT. That's a whitelisting process, and honestly, it has been super fun to build a game in the Discord and Quest. We really wanted to make sure that people will understand that we are building a game. We really want to make it fun. We are not there to make something speculative, take the money and do something else. We want to build a strong community around this game. So that's the first one. So you will be able to mint at least one NFT, and you will have for people different packs available between 1 and 10 NFTs. So
Wow.
you will be able to get several NFT and to build a very strong stable during this process. You will have only 6,666 NFTs available for this stage. You have almost in France 30,000 horses running in races. And it's mainly the same in England, Ireland, Hong Kong, in the US, Sweden. You have several countries.
Yeah.
What we are currently doing is that, first of all, we want to offer the ability to get some other horses in the coming months. So yes, we will have other drops. It will be more expensive, so we want to provide an unfair advantage to the first on this sale, and we are as well working with other countries to be able to offer horses coming from all around the world in the coming months. So you will have other drops in the coming months, but you will have an unfair advantage if you take part of the first drop.
Very cool. Can you tell us a little bit about the unique characteristics of the horses available in this drop and how
Yeah.
they'll play into the horse's overall performance?
So I would say what we did is that we built a cohort of homogeneous horses. So it means that at the very beginning, we really focused on young horses, but we identified that you have a risk that some of them will not take part to upcoming races. So the idea was to build a mix of horses which are between 2.5, 3 years old and 9, 10 years old for the oldest one. They will be coming from both gallop and trot. So these are two different sports on horse races. So you have gallop and trotting, and you will have half of gallop and half of trotting, and that's it. I mean, and for sure we'll take into consideration the horses which could be injured during the races. So it means that we are considering that we really want that even if your horse has an issue, you will be able to keep playing and to stay in the game and so we are building these mechanisms. I cannot share the details right now, but we are building this mechanism. It means that if your horse is no more active, you will be able to stay active in the game.
I'm glad you said that. That's the first thing I thought of as you were explaining this was what happens if
Yeah,
my real world horse breaks its leg, right?
yeah.
Um,
We want to replicate the life. So it means that when you are a horse owner, you invest in something which is a living material. It's an animal, so you have a risk that something happen, and we do not want uh, to hide this risk. It's part of the game,
yeah,
but we want to make you active in the game. So we will find the right balance.
that's fair. That's fair. So I'm just aware that we're running short on time. We do have a giveaway to do. Before we
Yeah,
do the
sure.
giveaway, can you tell me, for those who miss out today, what's the best way for someone to get involved in the stables drop?
Playstables.io, which is our website, and we are on Twitter and very active on Discord. So
Okay.
feel free, and if you want to ping me on Twitter, I can share my Twitter handle, and do not hesitate to reach me. If I can help,
Okay.
I will be happy to do so.
Okay. Great stuff so far. I'm excited to learn more. But as I said, we do have a giveaway to do. But before we do that, are you ready for the world famous TezTalks lightning round?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So before we get into that, the keyword for today's NFT and whitelist spots that we're giving away is exclamation point stables. Enter the keyword exclamation point stables in the live stream chat, and Nightbot will randomly select today's winner, who will announce before the end of the stream. Okay, now, Constantin, it is lightning round time. Remember, there are no wrong answers. This is just for
Yeah,
fun so our viewers can get to know you a little bit better. Are you ready?
yeah.
Beaches or mountains?
Beaches.
Pizza or sushi?
Sushi.
Movies or video games?
Video games.
Is this real life or are we in a simulation?
Real life.
True or false? Money buys happiness.
False.
Name one thing you absolutely want to do before you die.
I want to go back to Kenya.
The last place you traveled was?
Roma.
In 5 words or less, how would your best friend describe you?
Um, Passionate geek.
Good answer. And finally, what is your favorite thing to do on a rainy day?
Go outside and run.
Lovely. Those were excellent answers. This concludes the TezTalks lightning round. Let's get back into it. Now that we talked about the upcoming stables drop on March 27th, I'm curious, what does the stables roadmap look like from here? What can users expect to see from stables in the months ahead?
So at the very beginning, we really want to make sure and available the real races, the hybrid races, and the virtual races. I think the racing part is the most important of the beginning of the game. But we are building a world, so we are really focused on what could be the next step, make sense, making something relevant, and build as well a strong narrative. I mean, we are not just the replica of what happened in reality. We are building a world, and we really need to build something with a strong identity, a strong universe. So, and I'm pretty fascinated because horses will be the main characters. So we need to leverage this. It's we are writing a story.
It's an animal with a lot of personality, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Anyone who's spent time around horses can tell you that.
Sure.
Um, so somebody asked about this earlier, and I was planning to ask you anyway, so I kind of put it on the back burner. But obviously, at some point, your team made the decision to build out stables here in the Tezos ecosystem. And I'm curious if you can
Yeah.
tell us about your team's thought process in choosing Tezos as the right chain for this project.
Oh, yes, sure. It has been pretty intense discussions for the teams to find, identify the blockchain to begin the project, and they were always postponing the decision because we may take Immutable X, or we may take Tezos, and we move from to Polygon, and it was not so we know we took the decision almost I would say last May or maybe June, and they were thinking maybe we should wait the merge on Ethereum, and my point was to say we need to take a decision. We need to make a decision to make sure that we start to build something. And
Mm,
Tezos was the appears to be the good choice because we did not want to build something speculative. We really want to make it a long-term project, and we thought that by choosing Tezos, we will be involved in the governance of this blockchain.
mm,
We'll be able to take part of this project, and we were pretty sure that there were not huge wallets loaded of hundreds of millions of cryptos, which will come and create, I would say, disturb the project. We really wanted to build something and a long-term project. And the idea was to say as well as a manager to say, don't be afraid. Start to build on Tezos. We will learn a lot, and if sometimes it becomes a limitation for the project, don't worry. We will change. It's definitely part of the backbone of the project, but
mm,
it's our technological stuff. If we build something really cool, it will work. We cannot build a project. The project will not work because it's on that kind of blockchain. The project will work if it's a nice game and people really loved it and really want to play. And it takes absolutely 3 minutes to set up a new wallet. So I'm pretty sure that it's a sort of community point. It means that the community working on this blockchain are very sensitive to the choice you make. I received tons of questions around Tezos, but why did you? I mean, it was the best choice we take when we took the decision almost 1 year ago. We are really happy of what we are currently doing on Tezos, and we are really enthusiastic as well by the Tezos roadmap. There are huge, nice features coming in the coming months, and we are pretty sure that we are the right place
mm.
as of today.
Well, I 100% agree. You know, the project is not going to be successful because it's on Tezos. The project is going to be
Yeah,
successful because it's a good project.
yeah, sure.
And as you say, like, you know, Tezos can function as the bones of that project, and the community can get involved in all that stuff. But ultimately, it has to be a cool game, right?
Yeah,
Um, I'm wondering, now that you've begun building on the Tezos chain and interacting with the people in our
yeah.
ecosystem and community, what are your impressions of the ecosystem and of the community now that you're involved?
I would say, last week we were in NFT Paris, which was quite a big event in
Mm,
Paris, and I thought right after the event, I mean, we are supposed to be in a difficult market, and you see tons of nice projects coming up from almost everywhere. So I would say that's a perfect time to build.
mm,
I'm really impressed by the resilience and the work people are currently doing to make it happen. So and that's why when we started to discuss about the launch of the project, I received many questions internally asking maybe this is not the right time on the market. We should wait a bit. I I told them this is a perfect time to launch because people are not expecting us to succeed, and and the community will value that we launch because we invest in the technology, we invest in this space and in this community. So I'm really impressed by what I'm currently seeing as a member of this community.
Well, that's very good to hear. Switching gears for a moment. What role do you envision blockchain technology playing in the gambling landscape of the future?
Um, on the gambling landscape, to be honest, I'm not sure. I see two different points. The first one is privacy. I think the wallet will become the personal record and the way you will be able to manage and to control who access to your personal data, and you will be able to really secure your privacy. The second one is that I'm pretty sure as well you will be able to store on your wallet a proof of your identity. So it means that you will be, as a gambling operator, you will be able to track and to make sure that people are allowed to play on your space. That the 2 points I see, and I think we have as well some new games coming from the fantasy space like Sorare, which are not identified as gambling operators, but which could be identified. So I think as well you will have some regulation and regulatory topics to come in the coming months to make sure what is gambling in that kind of space. Is Sorare a gambling operator? I have no answer at this stage, but I'm pretty sure that it is a space where there are a lot of innovation opportunities. You have a lot of players which are installed operators for decades, and it's good as well for this industry to be a bit checked by new players and newcomers. It's
So it sounds like a big part of your role is talking to a lot of people about this
yeah,
project and what it is actually that you're trying to do here. And I'm wondering,
yeah.
in those conversations, what's the question that you get asked the most frequently?
I received a lot of questions from my peers, so people working as chief innovation director or chief digital officer, asking me where should I start. So and my answer is pretty simple. I don't know. I don't know. I think that if you have I say so. First, try to understand what is blockchain. So it means that register on Coursera, on I don't know, on YouTube, uh, watch videos and try to educate yourself about what is blockchain and is that technology is solving a problem you have, an issue you have with your customers or with people you want to address in the coming years. If yes, please invest. You will learn a lot. You may fail. Be ready to fail, but you will learn a lot as an organization. But please as well, do not invent a problem to use blockchain. You have a lot of players coming and telling you that they have a solution for a problem you don't have. and so the idea is not to do something in the Web3 space. The idea is to try to understand what happens, be ready to co-create with the community, which is pretty new for all corporations like we are, and be ready to fail. It's moving a lot, but it's super exciting. You will learn a lot.
Yeah, I think that's true of any technology. You know,
Yeah,
the key is finding a real world solution, a real world problem that technology solves, not
yeah.
inventing a problem for that technology to solve that may not actually exist. What do you think people misunderstand the most about Web3 and what part it will be playing in our lives in the future?
I would say I have a lot of questions on where is this money coming from, and I would say that when people pay using euros or dollars, or you have absolutely no idea of where this money coming from. So that's exactly the same, but thanks to the blockchain technology, you are able to screen the wallet. You are able to identify if there is an issue. You have tools to understand what happens, and so it's a complete new paradigm. And I would say that on this point, you have a sort of phantasm. I don't know if it's the right word, but
I get the idea.
um, yeah, people are thinking that you have some Russian terrorists using your game. No, absolutely not, or no more. But so that's my point. The philosophy around where this money is coming from is a real one.
Okay. Um, I could continue all day, but we are running out of time here. Before we close off, I'd like to announce the winners of the Stables whitelist spots and the First Mint Stables NFT we're giving away today. The winners of the whitelist spots are Rishti Hi Rishti, Ghost, and Eli. And the winner of the Stables NFT is Honey Pep 3R. Congratulations. To
Con-
claim your prizes, just
Congrats.
email us at social@tezoscommons.org. We'll request a screenshot for verification that you're the account owner, and then we'll get your shiny new whitelist spots and NFT over to you just as quick as we can. For those who missed out today, we remind you that there are awesome giveaways to be found frequently here on the TezTalks live stream, so keep tuning in. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our social media contacts can be found at tezoscommons.org/TezTalks. We'd love to hear from you. Constantin, thanks so much for joining us today. It's always
Thanks for
awesome
having me.
to speak to the folks building cool projects like Stables here in the Tezos ecosystem and keeping Tezos at the forefront of the Web3 revolution. Is there anything else you'd like to mention before we sign off here?
I'm super excited. It's a right time to innovate. I told my kids that when I was maybe 18 years old, it was the very beginning of internet, and I was super frustrated to be, I would say, on the wrong side of the history. I mean, the history is back, so it's we are reinventing new ways to build on the digital space, and it's super exciting.
It is, and your excitement comes through. It's apparent that you're
Yeah,
really into this project, and
yeah,
it sounds super
definitely.
interesting. Um, Thanks for joining us again. To everyone out there in Tezos land, thanks for joining us on the TezTalks live stream. I'm Stu from the Tezos Commons, and our awesome guest has been Constantin Garreau, founder and CEO of Stables. Now let's go ride some digital horses.